Hello, everyone. I'm Barbara with Reclaim Classic Designs. Today, I'm excited to walk you through how I turned an old garden utility trailer into this fabulous portable market stand to display and sell my home decor items roadside, then conveniently store it away in the garage. Although this build is based on a standard utility cart, it could easily be adapted for any size cart or perhaps a larger roadworthy trailer that could be used at vendor shows or markets. A detailed materials and cut list is available in the description. Let's get started. The first thing was to build a stand that allowed the cart to sit level and a back support stand to prevent the cart from flipping up when not attached to the tractor. Both of these were made using scrap wood. Since this cart would be stored in a garage, the overall height was limited to the garage door opening. However, I noticed that one of my garage door opener tracks was considerably lower at only 80 inches high. To determine your post heights, begin by measuring from the ground to the floor of the cart. The starting height for this cart is 16 inches, and I chose to have a roof height of 76 inches high. Using 2x4s, cut two front posts at 60 inches long, and to create a sloping roof, cut the two back posts at 56 inches long. Cut each post with an 8-degree miter cut on one end. This cart had manufacturer's bolts that had to be notched around to make the posts fit tight into the corner and flat on the floor. Use a jigsaw and chisel to make notches if you need to. Drill holes on both the cart and your posts. Line up these holes and fasten using 1/4 inch bolts that are 3.5 inches long, making sure your roof angle cuts are facing the same direction. Cut the side supports first, both with an 8-degree miter cut facing the front of the cart, using 2.5-inch screws and always drilling pilot holes first. Line up your supports flush along the mitered slopes. Measure from the outer outside edges of your side supports to get your front support measurement and attach it flat along the mitered support ends. The back roof support fits between the two side supports. Fasten it flush to the top of the back posts. Measure for a centered roof support board. It will have an opposite 8-degree bevel cut to marry up to your front and back support boards. Here is an example of making an opposite bevel cut by turning and flipping the board over after the first cut. From an old shed, I reused a couple of metal roofing sheets, lining them flush to the front and overlapping excess sheeting in the middle to line up with both sides. Fasten them down using 1.25-inch screws. Use clear silicone to seal the screws and seams to prevent water leaks. Trim off any excess length to your desired overhang. I calculated that I would need 8 8-foot boards to make slat walls out of 1x4-inch pine boards. To protect the wood and for maximum visibility, I opted to paint them using a bright outdoor color before cutting them to size. Before attaching the slat boards, I made 2 spacers to keep the boards straight and support them while fastening. Cut the boards for the side slats first, making them flush to the outside edges of the posts. Then cut the back board slats so they are flush to the outside edges of your side slats. Knock off any rough edges with a sanding block for a finished look. Using a scrap piece of 2x4-foot plywood, I notched out around the posts, and with a lot of maneuvering, it fell into place, resting perfectly along the lip of the trailer, making a top shelf. I added a 6-inch shelf between the back posts, and by using a 1/4-inch thick piece of 6-inch wide birchwood, I was able to hide the gap at the back. I also added a shelf on each side, fastened between the front and back posts, flush with the top of the third slat. After painting the plywood and back shelf with exterior white paint, I had a metal paint color mixed to match one of the darker shades in my logo to paint the cart. It turned out great, making it look brand new. I painted home decor for sale on each side of the cart, and as I started to decorate it with products, I realized I needed more shelf space. Using L brackets, I added an exterior 6-inch shelf with a 3-inch lip all the way around, which gave me the extra space I needed. I didn't have the right size screws to hide the brackets underneath, but spraying them with yellow metal paint helped to blend them in. I hope this build is adaptable for selling your products in your very own roadside mobile cart. Please like and subscribe to see upcoming product and DIY videos. I would love to know if you end up building a cart. Thanks for watching.